He was a scared nerd right there. I mean, I know the map is Frost, but at least it's not Frozen Temple. He should not have frozen up like that.
You know what else I was also noting, just in my own head, was like he has the 3 Adepts out here now. I think I should have just kept sneaking in with 1 or 2,
Yeah.
If he's going to do an Adept rush, you don't let them count your Adepts as they shade into your base to check.
That's a good point. Man, I don't know. I don't think that this is really going to work. He has the wall at the top of the ramp. Everything's looking pretty good for him. Just move these SCVs around.
I didn't know he was actually going to go in with that.
Well, he has to bring down quite a few Marines to actually kill those. I guess he's just going to run.
Works.
Huh.
How about that? I would have thought this would not have been that safe, but yeah, I guess it's actually fine. Now, Stim is close to being finished, but it looks like this attack is going to hit right before Stim does.
Well, maybe that was like a little bit of a fake, because now he doesn't have anything repairing this bunker, which means that it's going to go down really fast.
All right, now we have the Widow Mine.
Oh, that's a big deal right there. You could target that for some sick damage. Oh, my God.
Oh, he knows.
Oh, wow. Billowy with the Star Sense right there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now, I don't know if he has any force fields left, but if he does, he can really shave up a bunch of Marines.
He's making a bunch more over here. The angle's not good for anybody because of that Widow Mine there. Well, I guess he does not have force fields. Like I said,
he's targeting that Marauder as well. That is so rough. He really needs that damage going down onto the Marines.
Yeah.
Well.
I think Alive is properly adjusted. This is actually an indicator of why Alive has had so much success for so long, where you could see the idea of what Billowy's doing, but in a lot of cases, the execution's not quite there. And I would say this rush, even though a lot of people complain about Protoss being able to do stuff like this, this rush is a a little bit more difficult to pull off than the rush in game 1. And I think he's going to tap out now.
Well, this wasn't.
I'm not even joking.
He should probably. Like, it's okay for him to keep making Adepts and see if he can get something done, I guess. But the increased tech is out. There's double Widow Mine.
We literally have no detection. Here at all. Like, this is only going to get worse every time a Widow Mine comes out and burrows. And we're about to see it again. I mean, he's just done. That's just it.
Yeah, he's even trying to, like, bait Widow Mine hits. He's shaving off as much as he can, trying to make something work. Because, I mean, you go down 2-1, it's getting scarier and scarier trying to get into Kodos.
Yeah, the problem is it's the defense is getting more and more technical. For Alive here.
And this attack is becoming less and less. Oh.
Well, now there's a Liberator that he can't even hit. So.
This is pretty gross. He's started making probes again. There is no transition from here, guys.
Yeah, this is the thing, guys. And I know some people would want us to hype this no matter what. It's important to understand how these builds operate. Like, he invests everything in this attack because he's hoping that his attacking army is going to be lopsidedly stronger than his opponent's defense, because his opponent's trying to get Widow Mines, Liberators, you name it. And in this case, the longer this goes on, the more it's like, well, I mean, he's going to have an answer for air. Now, he's shaded in over here. There is a Liberator. Liberation Zone not in a spot that really is going to behoove these the defense. At the same time, though, these Marauders are just gunning down these Adepts one by one.
He's going to shade into the Liberation Zone.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I guess he's trying to see if he's going to set up Liberation Zone to move it, and then he can shift over here. Okay, look, he is still getting workers, so maybe I've been too critical.
No, there's a drop on the way to his base. He is going to die. You haven't been too critical.
The thing is, you look at the worker count here, man. And,
it's I mean, it is very low for Alive. But Alive has all the tech, whereas, like, Billowy can only hold on. He doesn't have Forges. He doesn't have a Robo. He only has a Twilight. I don't believe he even has Blink yet. You can kill, like, a lot of SCVs with something like this. But as you said, the defense has become very technical at this point. Look at this. He has to walk in onto the Liberator. Doesn't even kill it.
Yeah.
Stim, Medivacs, Widow Mines, Liberators. Alive has a hell of a lot going on for him. Yeah, it's like fine for Billy to try to continue, but what he did, you know, when you go for like a 6-gate Adept, you're warping in sentries, and you're just going for it. This is an all-in type of strategy where Alive is quite ahead. It looks like the game isn't over. It is going to continue on. He's killed enough SCVs. He's kind of scared Alive off enough.
Alive has all the assets.
Yeah. All Billowy has is a better probe count, but it's almost gone already.
Yeah.
Like, even the army is lower. And, like, this is just kind of what an all-in is. Sometimes the game does continue, yes. A lot of people are like, don't like it when I call something all-in. They're like, well, no, it's not all-in. Look, he has an extra base. And it's like, that's not what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's going to be 3 Widow Mines over here. Oh, wow, a big sigh coming out of Billowy as he lost those probes. And that's going to be a GG. So, yeah, like what we saw back there, and this is important for people to understand if they want to learn more about the game, is like that was an all-in. And like Terran survives it, you think, well, he did lose a lot of workers, but Terran has
all the tools
all the
to
tech.
kill you.
He has all the tech.
Like, at the lower levels, maybe he can't kill him, right? Because you don't have the finesse to pull that off. But at this top pro level, what Billowy did there was an all-in. It did not end up working, despite the fact that he killed a boatload of SCVs.
Yeah.
And, like, Alive held it enough, and that was it. Like, all-ins don't really have good transitions. As we saw, he was getting Blink and just sitting there because he doesn't have anything.
Right.
Which is fine. I mean, that's just, like, part of the game.
All right, game number 4, Orbital Shipyard.
Tasteless, I got so angry when you're like, I don't know, maybe I was too hard. No, Tasteless, no.
Tasteless, you're too
Don't
balanced.
you listen to the internet, man. That was an all-in. It failed. He was dead. He stayed in the game. That's his right. He should be trying to win. But it was not going to happen against a player the caliber of
Do you think
Live.
he's going to all-in again here? I'm not sure. It seems like it's kind of going in that direction.
I think no. I think a macro game, Tasteless.
All right, let's see what happens. This is game number 4. Alive, 1 win away from going on to Codex. In the upper right, in the blue, our Terran player, 2-game streak.
아프리카프릭스 얼라이브.
In the bottom left, in the red.
아프리카프릭스 빌로위.
So, you know, I think he will go for a macro game here. It's a pretty comfortable macro map. Oh, look at that. Kind of a hidden racks by Alive. I think this is just to be sneaky, like to scare Billowy when Billy scouts him.
We actually haven't seen this in a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a Neo Makarax. Like, it's not like near the minerals of his base, but rather like really hidden. But I think it's probably just going to be like a Reaper expand. That's what it looks like. Maybe just an expand into factory, something like that.
Yeah, let's. I don't know. You know, I'm looking at the way these games have gone, and you know, it always feels good when you pull the fast one on them. You do a knockout blow in game 1, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Already, I just wrecked him. He couldn't even stop my rush. But the thing is, in the other 2 games, it's like Alive. Alive couldn't even do anything. I mean, Alive stopped everything for Billowy in the other games. Like, one game was like a standard game where he's like, okay, in this part of the game, I have more than you. I'm better at the rest of the game than you. And then in the next game, Billowy tries to do, and it was like a little bit of a generic all-in, to be totally honest. Like, that's about as basic of a rush. Like, that's a rush that anybody can do. I don't know if that's the right rush to do against your team. Maybe he does that only because he doesn't do that in practice against Alive.
Yeah, there's a lot of mind games that we can't see behind the scenes. We can't really judge too harshly on what they choose as builds, just as how they execute them. But I really like what you said, like, oh, my rush was so good, he couldn't even stop it. You know what that reminds me of?
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, yeah, like sometimes you choose a builder that just kind of beats your opponent. It's like an all-in type build, or like you didn't scout the four proxy gates. I guess you win, hero, right? Like, and we're like, you couldn't even stop it. It was so good. That reminds me of like someone goes in poker. Everyone's played poker, where you like go all in pre-flop with aces, and they call you with 2-7 offsuit and win, and then you're like, why did you do that to them? And they're like, it won, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you yokel, like, you don't have any. All right. Like, oh, you couldn't even stop my rush. It was too strong for you.
You're riding on that adrenaline. And then as these games get more technical, it's like Alive is just, as far as I can tell, better at this matchup than Billowy is.
Yeah, I think he's just like a better player straight up.
I think also that last game was like the real indicator. You know what I mean? Of that last game there. Of this entire series is what I'm trying to say is like, okay, this is like, you got to make this work. You got to do it right away. And Terran actually has an army now. You like let Terran get a few minutes in without completely foiling their plans. Nicely done there by Billowy. He does gun down the Reaper.
Look how many stalkers he's making right off the bat. Isn't that kind of interesting? Like, he's adding only one gateway as well. Well, Curious would be making Lings, but, you know, that's... yeah, I don't know. Like, he's made 3 Stalkers. Oh, okay. Okay, I think this is going to be Quick Disruptor, but it could be Quick Colossus. Like, Colossus is making a big comeback in the matchup right now, and since Alive is making Siege Tanks, like, okay, here's the thing. Like, right now, it's very popular in the meta to go Marine, well, mostly Marine, some Marauders, Medivac Siege Tank against Protoss. But if you rush to Colossus, it absolutely crushes that. That could be what he's going for. But of course, Disruptor drops are still a doable strategy as well.
Yeah, you know, Disruptor drops were like a big trend for a short period of time. I think especially because of those Stork games really made people think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it's as much the case anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it's like that good of a strategy, to be
APM
honest.
intensive. There's too much to risk and to lose.
It is a rush to Colossus.
Yeah.
Now, this is like, he's coming out to attack. He won't be able to kill him with this. We just need to see good micro off of Billowy, but Billowy has chosen like a pretty, this is a pretty cool build order that we're seeing from him. This is so safe. Like, this could even be an all-in that he's planning, to be honest. It is a possibility that this will end up being an all-in.
He might just have the Warp Prism and then the Colossus to come out, and then, oh, that's unfortunate. The Marine spots it there of all places. That's not supposed to happen.
Well, if it's an all-in that he's playing, which, I mean, he's...
Oh, my God.
Well, that sucks.
That sucks. Wow. Wow.
That really does suck.
That is so sad, man. That is just so sad. He even sees the Robo.
You know, I gotta say,
babe.
this feels a little bit disjointed, this build that I'm watching.
Well, I mean, it's different when you're in an individual league, right? You don't have all your teammates backing you up and giving you support. You kind of come in here alone. Your friend is now your enemy.
I have to go through that every day I cast GSL.
I know. Your co-caster is now your enemy.
Jesus downgrades us from friends to co-casters. Beautiful.
Right.
Awesome move. Like, we promised we wouldn't tell the children till the end of the season.
It's not even my co-caster. It's like my colleague, Artosis. Okay, well, he's cut off a few mineral patches. He's going to have a good push over here. There's one Colossus out, although this is kind of an awkward angle for the Terran to face off against the Colossus. However, because of where the gas was spent, there's not a ton of Stalkers, so the Liberator's still a bit of a headache.
Third was so late and canceled. There's a bit of...
So what he's going to try to do is, okay, since he lost the Warp Prism, he's just going to put a pylon and a gateway out there and warp it from there. And this actually still might work for Billowy.
Yeah, it was kind of starting to look like an all-in anyways. And then he made the Nexus. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of, like, strange things going on. We have Liberators on the way.
The Liberators are not that helpful right when the first few Colossus come out. They're, like, great against, like, a big Protoss infantry army, but, like, they're not super handy in moments like this. And now we know.
Billowy. We all knew that wasn't going to work, Billowy. Even you knew that wasn't going to work, Billowy.
This is adrenaline right here.
Oh,
Billowy. He hasn't even pulled all the probes off the minerals properly.
Oh, Billowy, you so silly.
He's going to try to push in here.
Dude, he had to warp in 5 Stalkers here. He needs to cancel the rush. Like, it doesn't work anymore. Everything just... His attack fell apart with that.
Well,
like,
he's going to YOLO Baggins this, man.
Dude,
he's just going to go for it.
You think so?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Well, look on the map. He's
well, I think he'll
poke.
I don't think he'll actually commit, though. Like,
I think he is, man. He's getting another Warp Prism, too. I mean, everything points to...
But what about the third Nexus? Does that point towards it?
Well, I don't know, man. He might just be playing very poorly because that's what most of this game has been up till now, anyways. So I wouldn't necessarily point to that as like some kind of indicator, but we'll see. Okay, so here he is. He is going to come in and try to do it. It looks like he's going to shave down.
This I like, utilizing the fact that Colossi can kind of walk up there and shoot. Colossus is a great counter to Marine Siege Tanks, so yeah. Like, this is sealed up pretty well.
Well, if he wants, we could still break this down. Yeah. I think he might still go up, though.
I think you're right. I think he is going to go for it.
Here we go.
All right, Blinks in to kill this Disruptor right now. Some very good force fields going down.
Actually, kind of locked out a good chunk of his army. I think he would have wanted to cut some of that off.
We need some Echo Colossi back.
Yeah, Colossi not pointed in the right way. Now he is starting to do that damage.
Yeah, the Siege Tank is getting a few pot shots, but these Colossi are just worth their weight in gold right now. This is some really strong play out of Billowy.
He doesn't have blink, right?
Yeah, he does have blink.
He does have blink, so
Yeah.
he could even try to blink up and walk up with the Colossi.
Yeah, he may
as
want
well.
to, in fact. Oh, just barely. No, wait, he picked up the wrong Colossus there. Ooh, that was a big mistake. And a flank with the Widow Mines coming up. It looks like
Here we
everything's going to be
go.
taken down. Goodbye.
Whoa.
Oh.
What? All right.
He grabbed one into the Prism, and the Prism got shot. Beautiful. All right, that attack, like, almost did something for Billowy. Like, he was doing a good job with it.
Well, he got that position there, right? And there was so much damage dished out while he had that area. Problem is his Colossus count's been reset.
I want to.
Terran's in the state of the game where they can actually start to really make air units, and that kind of it could kind of flunk the Colossi out of the game because you just have enough Medivacs. You got enough. If you want Vikings, you have Liberators. You got a lot of flexibility.
No, I wanted to say, like, I think that Liberator and the misplaced Pylon that he could not use Overcharge to block it with actually cost Billowy this game pretty much. Like, not that he would have won, but his attack would have hit so much faster and so much stronger if he hadn't had to deal with that crap. So, wow. Like, good play by Alive. He's defensively, he's playing very well. Aggressively, he's playing very well. Billowy coming in with a builder we haven't seen in professional StarCraft 2 in about 1 million years.
Well, he strikes me as a guy that does have a big array of different builds.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
I'm under the impression, though, Alive is just going to eventually break him here.
Yeah,
you know?
I think you're right, especially those Liberators going down. He just blink forward and try to target them as quickly as he can here.
Going for that Colossus. Colossus has been microed back effectively.
Wow, this is actually starting to be a kind of okay hold here, but he does take down that pylon, unfortunately. Sets up another overcharge.
There are there are some reinforcements coming down here. He's just inching forward with this Liberator, trying to just get close enough, and he can actually fish in some of these units.
Kind of tough for him. He does have that second Colossi, so that will help, but he doesn't have enough to tank right now. These Stalkers will be blown up by the Marauders. Runs forward.
Stalkers are going to melt like butter against as many Marauders and Marines with Medivacs, and that's going to be it. Billowy has lost this game. GG. Alive comes back with a 3-0 streak and closes it out.
Solid play by Alive in this series, I definitely do have to say. Really liked his play.
Yeah.
You know, Billowy, like, you can definitely see some good stuff in there. Like, he has some good builds. He definitely played some early games pretty well, but it started to fall apart in certain ways. You saw that panic photon overcharge. He knew. He felt it when he hit that overcharge that wasn't going to work.
It was like a pretty unfortunate situation there. I like the idea of what he was trying to do, but you know, Billowy just does not quite have that execution, and Alive clearly does. I mean, there are enough armchair philosophers on the internet to fill up, you know, an entire Battle.net server of people that know the game, right? That are like, well, I wouldn't have attacked there, but when you look at it, it gets a lot harder, and you can see he wasn't able to keep track of the Warp Prism. There were a lot of problems back there. He was taking the third base, and he was doing the all-in.
We're not even sure what he was going to do. Like, was he originally going to do an all-in, or was he originally just trying to defend?
I think he was originally trying to do an all-in, and then everything started falling apart, and he had extra money, so he made a third base. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
kind of stuck in his base feeling. He's like, oh, God, this is getting gross. I have too many minerals. Here's a Nexus.
He knows. He probably even knows as he's doing it, okay, this is not exactly working, but I just got to I got to try to cover my bases here and hope I can do the best I can with this attack. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to go on to our second match for tonight's GSL Code A. Don't go away.
Times that I've seen you lose your way, you're not in control. And you won't be told. All I can do to keep you safe is hold you close till you can breathe on your own. Till you can breathe on your own. Hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life. I've been giving you let go of all your haunted dreams tonight. I've been giving you darling. Hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life. I've been giving you darling. Let go of all your haunted dreams tonight. I've been giving you you think that you can fly? You'll always swim against the tide. Don't you know your pain is mine? And I would die 1,000 times to ease your mind. To ease your mind. Hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, let go of all your haunted dreams tonight. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, let go of all your haunted dreams tonight. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, and I won't let you down.
책에서 듣다. 있는 그대로 맑고 깨끗하게 피어나라고 겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
슝 합체.
이건 마치 살아 움직이는 느낌인데
머리를 흔들면서 수염을 없애고 있어.
2,500만 명의 선택 플렉스볼. 아직도 안 써보셨나요? 질레트.
미소가 생기다. 화사함이 생기다. 건강한 하루가 생기다. pH 8.0과 풍부한 미네랄로 핑크빛 생기가 생기다. 아이시스 8.0. 이제 모두 핑크하세요.
답답할 때 마셔봐요 트로피카나. 상큼상큼 과일 듬뿍 스파클링.
리얼 프루트를 스파클링으로.
과즙이 톡톡 쏜다. 트로피카나 스파클링.
지금 바로 여기 여기요.
하니 하니퐁듀. 너 같은 피자 처음이야. 하니퐁듀. 하니 맛있는 피자의 땅으로 지금 전화 주세요.
차 뽑고 정확한 견적 뽑고 금융 혜택도 뽑고 자판기처럼 쉽게 차를 뽑다. 다나와 자동차.
밥은 역시 배달통.
배달의 힘 배달통.
스타일? 상쾌하면 되는 거야. 상쾌함의 높이가 다르다. Stylish Sparkling Water 롯데 트레비.
치킨 먹고 갈래. 한 번 맛보면 매니아가 된다. 치킨 매니아. 자네가 그 치킨 매니아인가?
차이나탄 실력도 탄탄. 이젠 어디 가든 난 당당. 모두 할 수 있어 뛰어 빵빵. 차이나탄 함께 해요. 짜요.
팀 캡틴 아메리카, 팀 아이언맨. 마블 퓨처 파이트에서 게임으로 즐겨라. 마블 퓨처 파이트. 캡틴 아메리카 시빌워 절찬 상영 중. 한 번 선택이 평생 간다.
차 전세 냈어?
힘들면 바꿔. 언제 어디서나 자유롭게 전직하라. 백전백승.
봄꽃책에서 듣다. 있는 그대로 맑고 깨끗하게 피어나라고 겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
Welcome to a GSL.
We are back, and it's time for the second best of 5 in tonight's GSL Code A.
We just saw a live takedown Billowy 3-1. Pretty okay series, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
That's kind of a weird thing to say, pretty okay.
Well,
what I'm trying to say is it was better than just okay, but I don't want to call it like a great series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I call it a good series, I feel like I have to call it a pretty good series because pretty actually detracts from good in that case. You know what I mean? Like,
it was not
this
a
is
bad
6.5 out of 10.
It was definitely a series that you watch to see mistakes versus great play and learn from that in that sense. We're going into a ZVZ here for our second best of 5. It's going to be Departure against Armani. What are your thoughts on this one, Artie?
Well, you know, Armani, I've liked some of his play in the past, but Departure's really coming up. In fact, Season 1 of Pro League this year, it felt like he was MVP's MVP. He was really coming out a lot, doing some ace matches, really kind of coming up overall. He's cooled off a bit since then, but I would favor Departure. He's just kind of like the more experienced of the two.
That's kind of my thoughts exactly. Like, I think it'd be really exciting if Armani did do well here, but I don't know. I feel like Departure's had some better games coming out. Departure's been pretty hit or miss, though. That's something else to factor in as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, you know, we got to wait and see.
I mean,
this is again another one that's pretty tough to call.
I mean, I like him. He's Gucci, but you know, I don't know if he's ready to be in Code S right now.
Yeah, he's Gucci.
No, that's a hero's term. I don't think anyone in StarCraft uses Gucci.
No.
It means good.
I was thinking of like, you know, because Armani also kind of sounds like a handbag. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Yeah, Armani is. That's why I use that.
Okay, because I just thought I didn't even know it actually was a handbag.
I'm always layered.
Sorry,
tasteless.
Guys. Tasteless is a little out of the expensive handbag meta here. I thought it just sounded
You fly
like
through
that.
enough airports, man. It's the same brands over and over.
I don't buy handbags, Artos. I filtered this part out of my brain. It doesn't exist to me. Dust Towers is going to be where this all starts off. ZVZ, we can expect anything here. Again, should be a pretty even match. This is Departure versus Armani. Our second best of 5. The winner will move on and survive going into Code S.
2016 핫식스 GSL 시즌2 코드 A.
In the bottom left, in the blue, our Zerg player, 1 of 2, with a quick gas and a quick pull.
MVP 치킨 마루 디파처.
It's my favorite tasteless intro is when you say our ex-player 1 of 2. That's
One
the
of
best
two.
one.
It's
so epic.
It sounds like a Dr. Seuss
Yeah, it does.
book. In the upper right, in the red, our Zerg player.
2 of 2.
2 of 2. And that will fill up our capacity for players in this match, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, now that we know that we can count, it is, in fact...
And we know the colors. We can get the 2 major colors on the color wheel and set them apart.
The 2 major. There is a 3rd color.
That's right.
That is important as well.
That's right.
Which one is it? It's yellow, right?
It is yellow.
Okay.
It's red, yellow, blue, I believe.
Yeah, and out of those, all colors can be made.
That's right.
Especially brown.
Especially brown.
Which is, something my daughter is learning very quickly as she mixes her Play-Dohs together. Dada, what do you think these colors make? I'm like, I'm pretty sure they make brown. Oh, man.
Well, we got ling speed, about 4 more lings on the way here for departure. Although this pool is not so late that I think Armani needs to be too worried about that. We do have a baneling's nest, though, along with this, and that might be where this could become a problem for Armani.
Yeah, this is definitely something that has potential to kill him if he's not ready for it. We had Overlord just headbutting. Is he hiding behind that on purpose?
Yeah, maybe. That's not actually unheard of. We've seen people do that before where they hide like a Reaper just on like the
if you don't look at the
backside
mini
of
map,
a
you might
ramp.
not see it. Like, do you happen not to?
Yeah, it's again, like it's not totally unheard of, so maybe.
Well, I've never heard it, but I've seen it.
So you can just see right through it, though, which is interesting. It doesn't actually, vision's not actually obstructed.
It's
by
not
that
100%, but like, I mean, what is your eye drawn to? Like the hidden overlook. It's like a Where's Waldo type of puzzle, right? Like you're gonna look at the two Vikings fighting over the pot of stew rather than Waldo that's just standing next to some guy.
Waldo, that's by the guy with the cane, the other guy with the cane. So we got a lot of lings coming up here. Now Armani is making more drones. He's starting to turtle up here. This expansion in the back, though, is under threat. Now, although they have to enter and go through the main area to get there, this can still be punished pretty heavily. Now, there's a second base being made right now for departure.
Now, look at this. He's closing up all the holes as best he can. He's basically giving up this hatchery.
And apparently these drones up here as well, which is
he withdrew most of the drones. I think he left those there just to mine a little bit more minerals because this is desperation mode right now for him to stay alive.
That's interesting. I would have sent them back, but I don't know.
Yeah, like if he sends them back, they live, and he mines slightly less minerals because they don't add anything to the patches in the main.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think that's because I saw him actually pick them out and send them back.
All right, looks like that is a tight wall.
Yeah. He'd have to go way around the left side, I guess, to get in. The thing about this is that Departure has a hatchery behind.
Yeah, this was not an all-in. This was an assassination successfully pulled off on that base down there.
That was the... Never mind.
We have the spine crawler coming down here now. And our bailing's out for Armani. So Armani is going to go back and reclaim this base.
Will he just double expand from here? That's what
maybe.
I think I would like to see from him to try to catch up, just kind of turtle on 3 bases and see if he can do it. But with such a quick layer out of Departure.
Oh, my God. That was just so dicey.
I think Departure will very likely just go into Mutalisks from here because that's going to be the easiest way to keep a lead.
It's the only thing that, and I also think that it's easy for him to do that back off of because he has the defense necessary. Like the attention's over here for his opponent. He's too caught up trying to deal with this one problem over here. I think you could tech pretty freely. So the queens are coming down now onto the low ground. Now the combination of the queens and the banelings, well, assuming he keeps them, is it makes a lings around there impossible. As far as the drone count goes, it is Departure in the lead right now.
Well, Armani is going to try to catch up in a long macro game, but this is going to be very hard. He's going to be forced into ground units because this is going to be a Spire play coming out of Departure. I think Departure is just playing really smart, right? He's followed this build up perfectly. He hasn't overextended one time.
He definitely. This seems to be going according to plan.
Yeah, he's in complete control. Like he is forcing ground units. You cannot really go Spire here. It's just like way too late. It's not going to work out. You're never going to have the same amount of mutas. So if he knows for a fact his opponent has to go at this point 3 bases plus ground units, he can do whatever it is that he wants to do. Like he can go only mutas and lings and speedbanes. He can just go mutas to have control while taking a couple bases and going into his own ground units. The world is Departure's right now.
Departure also with a good amount of gas saved up right now. He's going to have about 800 gas-ish when that Spire's done. And yeah, I mean, you're right. The world is his in this game. Now, I will say I think Armani's adjusted not bad at all.
Yeah,
considering he lost that hatch and got pushed back there. I think he's going for a very different tech. He's going to go for 3 base and start upgrading. Probably have to stay back and defend, which will give Departure a 3rd base to balance out all the economics here.
You know what this is, Tasteless? This is like we're watching the game of life in a ZVZ. And Departure, through his build order, was born into a higher position. He's looking to finish off life in a higher position, but Armani is going to do his best to, to challenge.
He's going to try to pull himself up by the bootstraps.
Yeah, exactly.
As much as he can.
He's going to have to do something here that gives him an edge over someone who, build order-wise, was born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
Also, do you think it's wise to go for the armor here, considering that Armani is not going for mutas?
No.
I think it's actually better.
Attack would have been better.
I don't think it's ever advisable if you're Armani to have gone for mutas either, right? In these spots, am I wrong? I'm not sure about this.
There's no way he should ever go into mutas. Like, the only way he would go into mutas, I would say, is if we see a ground switch as well, and it ends up being like Roach, Ravager against each other, then muta switches can be really cool. But like, you cannot open with mutas here. He has to open ground. And yeah, the Carapace just, like when he saw 3 bases off of Armani, I think he could have assumed that this could not be a Mutalisk play.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, that's not the end of the world. It's just going to be a little bit more handy. He's got missile attacks here, Armani does.
Lurker Den on the way. That's not something I expected here, but I really, 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 really like it, because if he's going to play a longer turtle game, if you try to make like Roaches and Hydras, you're like, okay, this is how I'm going to beat the Muta player, and then you try to walk across the map with this army and win, like, shame on you. Okay, why don't you try something that actually has a chance here against Departure? Like, so I like the fact that he's going into Lurkers. Once you have Lurkers up, ground no longer can really kill you. Like, you can go into Vipers plus ground, I guess, to try to fight against that, but I like this a lot out of Armani. He is going to be able to, secure more bases, continue to tech up.
Thing is, though, with what Departure's doing, taking a 4th base here and getting the double Evo chamber, he might be able to get a lead and just switch into his own ground army pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
I mean, the Muta is kind of making a big no-no to move out on the map too much, So there is that.
Right now, he is, his mutas haven't done like too much. They forced a bajillion spores. They've kind of kept him down on 3 bases for now, which is really, really important. He definitely needs to get that 4th base up first. But look, as you say, the double Evo is up. His Baneling speed is going to finish up, which means that, you can't really use Hydras reliably as your anti-air against this. Those speed banes blow them up, the mutas will just carve your army to pieces. But with Lurkers morphing, with Spores and Hydras and Queens around, this is a very stable position for Armani, and this is the one map where you can kind of just turtle into the super late game, get anything you want.
Well, this is already a very turtley map as it is.
Yeah.
And we see no hesitation here on continuing the upgrades for Armani. He's just going to keep doing this. Kind of a funny spot he's got there with the Evo chamber. Did you see him mining the gas in his man? So he's going to come in here. He's going to try to see if he can't just get an extractor, maybe some drones. Got to be careful, though. Okay, he should have probably backed out there a little bit quicker.
Yeah, he's actually making more Mutalisks here as well, which is kind of interesting. This is, like, you have to make a decision as a Mutalisk player. Are you going to stay on Mutalisks, or are you going to switch out?
I thought he might actually try to go on a Roach Hydra himself, but I guess he just wants to go for Lynx. Problem is there are Lurkers out here.
He has Lurker Tech, too, at this point. So if he sets up defensively with Lurkers, that is definitely something that can work out. Like, he's not really going to die to what Armani is doing here, but by putting so much money into Mutalisks, he does run the chance that we see like a ridiculous fungal or some parasitic bombs or something like that.
And now we're going into the Greater Spire Orthosis. Very interesting. Ultra's here as well. And let's see where the rest of this game can actually take us. We've got more and more links coming. Meanwhile, Armani's getting Burrow.
And Burrow movement right now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. We'll see if he can actually get anything done with that. I don't really foresee that because this map is getting super turtle at this point. But this Mutalisk flock is getting really scary.
So the center of the map, especially if Lurkers are used, is kind of a flashpoint of action because you can cut off circulation from anywhere else on the map. Late game, ZVZ can get pretty technical on this, man.
Yeah, it definitely can, and it has so much to do with moving your armies around and kind of guessing
This extractor
compositions.
seriously survived. That extractor's at 5 HP.
Yeah.
Now the Lings are going to come around here. Problem is,
Ooh.
with that many, yeah, got to be careful.
Did those lurkers shoot?
I don't think
I
they
didn't
did.
hear the shoot.
I didn't see the shot.
Yeah, so I
Unless
wonder
we're
if they're hold
crazy.
position lurkers, perhaps. Oh no, okay,
Okay,
they're
no,
shooting
they're
now
doing
for
it now.
sure.
Yeah, but I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
When we had that
I
initial
wasn't
shot,
sure.
I thought, what? Anyways, still got a lot of mutas here. Now there is a Broodling tech coming here, and notice the expansion being taken in the bot. Is that an expansion, or is that? Or those aren't lings?
Those are
back
lings. Those are lings
They
over on
just-
the right hand
They
side.
just look like perfectly like they're a hatchery over
Yeah.
there. That's funny. Okay.
I think that hatchery would be one hex off though, tasteless.
Yeah, maybe it's poorly placed, but he's
Yeah.
only using it to deny the expansion.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. So instead, Departure's going to keep taking bases over here in the center left, whereas, I guess he's going to do that while continuing to harass here. Okay,
The
so a lot-
Broodlord tech is kind of scary right now for Armani, wouldn't you say? He doesn't
Sure.
really have good anti-air at this point. Like, he is going up into Hive. I think he just needs some Vipers coming up.
So he's using his own Roach Bro to try to harass here. This is pretty cute, though. Morphine. It's kind of like a Zerg Liberator.
Yeah.
He's using a morph in these other more obscure locations.
Whoa. That's a
Now,
lot of Banes.
Now, this is kind of a funny game. We never really cast ZVZ like exactly what Departure's doing, but I think this can just work. He seems to have much more map control.
Yeah, the Broodlords are like very, very key right now. I don't want to take this game away from Armani though. He's played a good defensive game so far, and he is getting Vipers. Vipers are going to be super key. Parasitic Bomb and Abducts are going to kind of wreck. There's no like great counter to your opponent's Vipers here. You don't have High Templar. You don't have like Vikings to fend them off. Your anti-air has much lower range. He might need to even get his own Vipers. See a Viper versus Viper battle.
We could get to that point in time. It's important to note how much gas is being denied in all this harass here by Departure, by the way. This is pretty interesting. I think Departure might be able to do a ton of damage with this Broodlord push. Not this one here, but the one, that one that we have down here.
Yeah, he's starting to pick off spores, but the Vipers are going to fly over. And if you're pulling, the thing is, the mutas can't really do much now. There's fungal growth, parasitic bomb, and a Hydralisk. So
Well, I
the
think he
mutas
phases
can only
out the
fly
mutas.
around. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful abducts. And that's what we need to see is just parasitic bombs and abducts from here on out. Now, he has to be scared, really, about using these because abducts are going to be so strong.
Well, he seems to be pretty confident, Artosis. It looks like he wants to go onto the high ground here. I think you're totally right, though, with the abducts. You know, I mean,
It really says something about me saying that he should be afraid.
he's looks like he's going to try to keep doing this. He's going to carve down the rocks over here. Again, he's denying a lot of gas, which is pretty annoying right now for Armani in this game. Again, whenever you have Broodlords out on the map like this, I mean, if you lose, like, for instance, these, 8 Broodlords, that's a lot. Okay, that's like a big indicator of whether or not you're winning or losing the game. He's kept a good amount of them alive. He's also gobbling up the upper left side of the map pretty quickly. We're seeing the same thing from Armani here as well. He's beginning to take all these other bases. It looks like it's going to be another poke.
If he does hit and run techniques here, this could work out really well. Like hit there, kind of run away.
Well,
make it
it's
so that
funny.
the Vipers and Ground Army can't do solid abducts on you.
It's kind of funny how it looks, right? Because, yeah, I mean, he can actually just completely obliterate a base, and as long as he runs away, now this time he didn't pull out fast enough over here. But with the rest of these Broodlords, I think he can actually get far enough away. Well, he needs to pull them all back. But he's making Ultras off this. We have 7 Ultras. Now, also keep in mind that the Lurkers don't have that control, that center, like exactly in the center of the map location to cut off control. So I think there's a bunch of Lings actually headed to the bottom right. We see it on the mini-map. We're not actually showing it on screen. Well, instead they're going to come up here, which is actually quite unfortunate because there is a base being taken to the bottom right.
That abduct has to use 2 abducts here to kill that off, but slowly but surely, this is a very cost-efficient composition at this point for Armani. Like, he is doing a very good job. Those Ultras are a little bit scary, though. Oh, wow, 12 on the way at the moment. And Ultras, I mean, they do take good damage from Lurkers, but they're not just going to blow up like Roaches do.
It's kind of crazy what this game has become. I think this is going to be a really good series overall when you look at
This
just
is a
how
great
this
game.
game
I
is
love this
going
game.
on for this far. A bunch more ultras are being made. Mutas are now coming around here. Now, this entire game, Armani's been to some extent pinned. He's never really been able to go out and do that much. I mean, unless you really count those roaches coming out on the map for like a minute, not doing much of anything.
Yeah.
Now, he's going to even take out the main, which does matter because it's one less hatch, so it's one less production facility. He's also not going to get gas from these bases up here either, which does matter if you're both in like late game like this. Armani's kind of like been up against the ropes for a lot of this and just not getting KO'd yet.
He's playing it smart enough that he still has a chance this entire time, which is really cool. A lot of lurkers come up right now. Fungals go down just for the damage on these ultras, and those lurkers just shredding.
In case you're wondering what that looks like with that many lurkers versus ultras.
And
the ultras do bunch up.
A huge part of it is what you and I were talking about last week, where ultras, when they attack in, if you have a bunch of buildings in the way, the building is the counter to the Ultralisk. Those spores were set in such a way the big fat ultras could not get through. They couldn't get the type of surface area they needed. They were clumping, and that made the lurkers wreck them twice as hard.
Now, if you notice, because that damage has been done, this triggers Armani to move out on the map, like immediately. He has to seize this moment, and this is going to be the hardest part of the game here for Departure. Departure has lost a lot of his very technical units.
He's very low in supply right now. These do nothing.
No!
Oh, God, just gone. Just
that might
erased.
just be game. That might just be game.
I think you're probably right.
That's so much that he just lost there.
Now, he does have a bunch of ultras on the way, but not a lot else with them. It's just kind of pure ultra. Will he be able to break through here?
I think he's going to try to, well...
If the lurkers run burrowed, he could absolutely wreck everything, but they are burrowed right now.
He needs to get them so that they're not sharing damage.
That is just way too much.
Yeah,
and look at that. He even uses infested Terrans to block the ultras.
That's something we don't really get to see every day, but that definitely works. GG. Armani hangs on. Armani comes back. Armani wins game number 1.
That was a great play. That was great play.
That was really
by
good.
Armani. I love that.
Although I will say it was also some poor play at the very end there by Departure.
It was. The ultras, just a suicide attack in, don't really make too much sense. Like, I think he probably had to go into a more turtley play, or at least have Vipers there to throw down Blinding Clouds. With Blinding Clouds, the lurkers are not going to be nearly as effective, but you know what? He chose to go with that strategy, and a pretty big whiff there because he had control basically the entire time. It's just Armani played that so intelligently. He really looked at the situation, realized there was no way he was going to find a window to kill this Mutalisk player. Why not go right to lurkers? Why not turtle so heavily on this map?
There was also the flub there from Departure. He attacked into those lurkers.
Yeah.
That was like really bad. I'm talking about not the final battle there, but the one before that. I think he should have been trying to abuse the fact that the Hydra lurkers can't control the bottom right side of the map. I also wonder if it would have been more wise for him to just go to his own lurkers instead of ultras. Yeah. I've been saying this forever now, or it feels like forever. Ultras are not that great at breaking bases. And we saw it again back there. You don't even need to go. You got mutas. You can go hit other locations and actually get equity out of the mutas. Why not make lurkers and hold the center of the map since you pushed him back and go from there?
Sure, I like that.
Anyways, guys, this is game number 2, Armani versus Departure. In the upper left, losing game number 1.
MVP 치킨 마루 디파처.
And in the bottom right in the red, he is.
삼성 갤럭시 알마니.
So if I can riff for a little bit longer about this thing we've seen, it does seem to be the case that Zerg have a lot of mid-game or late-game units that let you hold off almost anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lurkers, Ultras, Broodlords. How good are these units in attacks? A lot of times they have trouble. They have trouble getting over there. They have trouble getting away, which means you can make a mistake. And we saw this with those Ultras that came out there. Now, I don't know why he sent the Ultras out, because I know he knew that there were lurkers there. He was running links through his base for days. But, you know, you take that situation that Departure had there, I think there's a better way to play it. I think it might have been wiser for him to try to use the Mutas and the Broodlords to poke in and take out these bases from the air. There's a lot of points on that map, more than I think almost any other map, where you can harass from air and still be on your side of the map, kind of, or like close enough to your base.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, it's like tag, where you got to like run back and touch that tree or that wall, and then you can't be tagged back. You know, it's kind of like that.
I like that.
But a lot of times, and it's not always, I mean, you can always find an exception to anything in StarCraft, but a lot of times we see these guys and like they're doing great, and then they get like their 8 ultras, and then they go across the map, and then they lose all the ultras, and like they are not trading, okay?
Yeah.
Like those lurker spines, every spine was hitting every ultra, like at every possible angle, and I'm not saying that you can't go for ultras, but you can't run into the location where they're static defense, and I'm going to call lurker static defense because they are when they're broed. You could make a Nidus while you're pushing with Broodlords or something crazy, or make a Nidus somewhere else while you're pushing with Broodlords, and then just try to dismantle the Zerg based off harass.
I think what you're arguing is, why not try to be creative? This blunt force attack
this
is exactly what Armani defended against.
Yeah, and it's a way we've seen a lot of Zergs, whether it's ZVZ or Z versus T or P even. Some of these bludgeoning attacks are just not working, and I think people have been too stuck on it, Zergs especially. I mean, I forget who it was. We had 2 different games Friday night when we were here last time, where we're watching these games, and they're going well until, and I got to say, I'm kind of surprised that Ling actually gets in there. Drone can't even deny it.
Oh, my God. Wow. And he gets to see the Evo.
Yep.
It's a pretty big deal.
Yep.
See a +1 Evo on the way.
That's right.
He's going to know exactly what that is, too. That means a lot of Lings. Might want to throw up a Roachhorn or at least a Baneling Nest.
Something.
Yeah,
I'd say
he needs something here because, well, he already has one, so he's making a Bane. But,
just to go back to that point, I mean, it just seems like there's been a lot of games where people build up certain death balls and kind of go with it. It doesn't seem like Zerg can do that in certain circumstances in the late game. And that doesn't mean that they can't win, because we know that there's all sorts of other tools Zerg have.
Yeah.
But
well, Zerg, like, if you get ahead of your opponent, you can bludgeon them to death, absolutely. And, you know, a lot of people, when we were talking about how Ultras aren't really that good at attacking to kill people, we're talking about, like, in even-ish situations. Yes, if you have killed your opponent's army, you can attack across the map and kill them with Ultras.
It's not like with Protoss where you have, like, sentries and immortals, and you're like, well, man, you got 6 immortals. It's time to go looking for a fight.
Yeah.
You know, let's push out on the map. Let's bring that War Prism. Let's do that. It's like with the Ultras, they can play SimCity. They can go play single player, and a lot of times hold off your Ultras. Also, surprisingly, we have a lot of moments where Ultras don't run away, even in that last game there.
Well, as soon as you see that damage output, turn around. But, yeah, oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Armani's so good.
That was like, it was such a basic play, but you know what? He wasn't looking for it. And now the angle here. That was such a good hiding
spot. That was such a good hiding spot. He even knew that he was going to come out through the left-hand side and path up close to that side. Like, that hidden Bane is like, departure is, this is so bad for him. Though Armani has played so intelligently in this series.
Yes, he
like,
really has.
Between the last game going straight up to Lurkers and this hidden Baneling, I'm like, oh, okay, you're just like one of the smartest Zergs out there. We need another Zerg that's a top-end Zerg right now. Like,
and he
we
might
need
be our
that.
guy.
I tell you, he could be with this smart a play. You kidding me?
He's also going to be able to take out this hatchery, it looks like. Is he going to cancel this, or is he going to let this finish? Because this is actually going... Okay.
That was about
Armani did not bite the bait there. He's like, nope, I know this exactly. Well, now he's going to looks like he's going to go for a counter Baneling bust.
Yeah.
This is actually going to be pretty tough.
He has so many Lings on the way. He has Banes morphing right now as well.
There's a lot of screens that he has to cover for here. Oh, my God!
Goes up the other side. Beautiful move here once again.
Oh, this is sick.
Wow.
And actually takes all of that out.
Well, 2 Banelings are not really... Well, I guess with this many Lings, that building set up in 2 Queens, he's not going to die, but... this is just
he's still
so
making,
smart.
Oh, no, actually, excuse me. Armani's making some drones now. I thought he was still making only Lings. That's actually Departure who's doing that. Got to be careful here.
Like, Armani is just in such great shape here.
The Banelings are beginning to slip.
Whoa! Oh, that wasn't as bad as it could have been. All right, that Baneling not quite finding the connections it was looking for, but if there's no more Banes...
With the Queen. Now, he needs to get these Banelings up here. Now, this is a really horrible angle for Armani to hit into, but if these Banelings get the connections that they need...
Oh, that's going to be it.
GG! Armani wins game 2.
Wow, he's
Armani
so smart.
is like looking really good, man. He's
really
looking
is.
really, really, really scary.
I'm so happy to see this too. Like, since my boy Rogue has been falling off a bit, man, I need another Zerg to really be watching come up, and maybe this is the guy. I don't want to be too quick to call it,
well,
but
I'll tell you
these
what.
2 games showed that he has a big, sexy brain under that good-looking hair.
And I'll tell you this too, Artosis. He's actually not really made mistakes this game. I thought Departure had a cooler, better position, but that wasn't because Armani was playing poorly at all.
No,
In
he
fact,
got a build order advantage, and then Armani fought back from it very intelligently.
Yeah, Armani is looking very
He's
slick.
changing his stars.
Yeah. I love what he's doing here. Let's see what happens in Game 3, but right now Departure seems to be, outgunned at this point in time.
He certainly does. Next map will be Laralac Crest.
Laraliacally, Artosiliosly, the map that everybody says I can't say right.
You can't, but you said it right last week, and I almost brought it up. Laralac.
Laralac? What do I say?
Laraliac. Every time. Except one time last week.
Laralac. Laralac?
Laralac.
Laralac? What am I saying?
Laraliac.
I'm saying Laraliac. Like there's that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
Yeah, it's if it was like a drinking game, man, you would have killed some people.
That's right. Well, I'm sure there's other stuff I'm saying over and over, man.
Yeah, no doubt. There always is.
There always is when you do these unscripted casts.
Dessert player 1 of 2.
1 of 2 in the red. He needs to come back now. We're going to go on to Game 3.
Where legends will be made.
Only one player will move on. The other one will be out of the tournament forever. All right. This is game number 3. In all seriousness, Departure needs to bounce back. He cannot make any more mistakes. Armani is looking like he gets this matchup and he gets his opponent. Let's see if there's anything Departure can pull off here, any rabbit he can pull out of his hat. I'm Tasis, with me is Artosis, and this is our middle match here, our middle best of 5 in the GSL Code.
The neglected match, the middle child match.
This is the red-headed stepchild match of the GSL Code.
2016 GSL 시즌 2 코드 A.
In the upper right in the blue, he is
MVP 치킨 마루 디파처.
Oh, all right. So excited, Tasteless. Who's this guy? Wait, why is this on here so long? God.
I think we have a new producer, actually. In the bottom right, in the red, he is
삼성 갤럭시 알마니.
So right off the bat, we see the first Overlord for Departure is headed southbound, and that means he is going to get a peek to what Armani's doing a little bit quicker. That's the littlest bit of RNG that you get in StarCraft.
It is.
But
starting spots is RNG in 4-player maps and 3-player maps, and the thing is, like, there's a set scout pattern here as well. You scout with Zerg towards the natural, because you're going to get info quicker. So it's like he had the advantage as soon as the game spawned.
Right.
But
and we're going to have the drone scout come out here, headed northbound for Armani.
This was a gas and pool for Departure before his hatchery, so he is a little bit slower, on the extra base, but will have speed a lot quicker at least. We'll see what he can get done with that. Whatever it is, though, Departure's big brain Armani's big brain should be able to deal with that.
Well, Departure has a big brain as well, Artos. This is Code A. It's no small feat. However, if we had to weigh these brains, one might be just, a little bit heavier.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I tell you, definitely both heavier than Tasteless's brain. Thank God you have your looks,
Are you kidding
Nick
me,
Tasselhoff.
They sometimes won't even let me on the airplane because my brain is so heavy. I gotta pay extra, just like it's extra luggage. You have no idea.
I like that. Okay, what is this hatchery?
Yeah, what is this, Brood War? What is this third hatch over there?
What is this hatchery?
That is like actually, this is like an exact Brood War opening. You know what I'm talking about? The ZDZ and Brood War where people used to do this?
Wow, third hatch at the choke. He's going gasless. This is like a super econ type of opening, it looks like. Wow, this is really unexpected.
Well, the fact that Armani's doing it, I kind of want to just say it's going to be good no matter what because he's been so clean so far.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's something really